6th grade. Okay, so here we go, table of contents. The last set of notes that we took were independent variables. And so remember, we're on page 2 of our table of contents, or at least Miss Lewis is. And so we're going to keep going. And so today we are going to be looking at solving two-step equations. So what we've been doing, we worked on solving one-step equations, solving one-step equalities, finding solutions to those, learning all the different parts and how to do it. And so that's what our assessment was about yesterday. And so today we're just going to keep going. We're going to go page 32, and it's going to be solving two-step equations. Okay. And so you'll be taking these notes on the 23rd or 24th, so I'm going to put 2/23 here. Okay. And so yesterday I sent you home with a note packet that looks like this. So you're going to need it. It's 2 pages long. I'm going to need it and some glue. We're going to turn to the next available right and left side page. So right past page 31 where we did our independent and dependent variables. And so I'm going to flip it over here. Alright, here we go. We've got page 32. Coming to the top, we're going to write 2/23, 2021. And our title is Solving Two-Step Equations. So our objective I can calculate the solution for a two-step equation by working backwards through the order of operations. Okay, so we're actually going to be extending our knowledge with solving one-step equations where we were using inverse operations. We were working backwards there, but we only had one operation, and so we weren't really having to focus on order of operations as much. Now we have to focus on order of operations and working backwards through it, so meaning working from the bottom up. So in this, we actually solve addition and subtraction before we ever solve multiplication and division. So, that being said, I want you to take your first page, okay? And so notice, this is what they call method 1, cover it up. Okay, I will tell you, this is one way to kind of help you check for reasonableness. This is not the way that suggest that you get accustomed to using, mostly because as you move through junior high and high school and things like this, and you start solving linear equations and there's fractions and things like that involved, this method doesn't exactly work as fluidly as the other one. Okay, but we're still going to go over it because I think it's a handy tool to have in our back pocket. Okay, so method 1, and guys, this is going to be a listening activity. Okay. okay? You're going to fill in the blanks. I'm not going to write it all out for you. So, solving two-step equations. The concept is to hide the entire term containing a variable, V-A-R-I-A-B-L-E. Then you think, what quantity is hiding to make the equation true, T-R-U-E. Okay, so that's that blank and that blank. So if you'll notice, it says how it works. So it's got 5 plus 4x equals 33. And it says this time we will do it together and we'll cover up with a mailbox. When you try on your own, you can choose any container to hide your variable term. So we covered that 4x up with a mailbox. And remember, 4x means 4 times x. So what do I have to do? Well, I still have to do the same thing. So 5 plus what's going to give me 33? So I asked myself, okay, I work backwards. I go the other way. So I have to take 5 away from this side, take 5 away from this side, and I get 28. So if I get 28 there, so the 28 is the total of what's hiding inside this mailbox. Okay? That's the total of what's hiding in that mailbox. So that tells me that I've got to say 4x equals 28. So it says let each envelope represent x. So each envelope is x. So all 4 envelopes together have to equal 28. So how much does there have to be in all of it? Well, let's see here. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So how much is each envelope worth? It's worth 7. Okay? So remember, we have to check. Okay, so that's our reminder. We need to check our solutions. And remember, we do this by using substitution. So we're going to substitute 7 in for x. 4 times 7 is 28, plus 5, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So this one works, okay? So this is the cover it up strategy. So here we go. Let's look at this next one. So we're going to use a piggy bank this time to cover it up. So we have 29 minus 2 times x equals 13. Okay, so I have to ask myself out loud, 29 minus what gives me 13? Okay, the piggy bank represents 16. So remember, my piggy bank is covering up this 2x. That's what it's covering up. So this, if it equals 16, both of them together, what is each one worth? Well, you could use your tally marks again if you need to, but each one is actually worth 8. Now, I have to check, so I do 29 minus 2 times 8 equals 13. So 29 minus 16, so 9 minus 6 equals 3, 2 minus 1 equals 1. Does it check? It does. Okay? So now, a solution is a value for the variable that makes the equation true. Okay? Has to make it true. So remember, your solutions should show your variable equal to a number. Okay? So solutions should show the variable given equal to a number. Okay, I should show it equal to a number. So an example would be x equals 3. If you don't have x equals 3, I'm going to count it wrong. If you just put 3, it's wrong. Okay, so make sure that it's x equals 3 or y equals 3 or whatever variable they give you. Okay, so that being said, this next one, I want you to try it as your entrance ticket. Okay, I want to see it with the cover up. Remember, you're going to cover up the 8b plus 12 equals 84. And then you're going to tell me what you get from there and make sure that you check your solution to make sure that it makes the statement true. So this is part of your entrance ticket here. Okay, this is something I'm going to be looking for. So that being said, what I want you to do with this right now is I want you to fold it in half from top to bottom. Okay, fold it in half, top to bottom. And we're going to set it off to the side. So now you have this other one that's method 2, okay, of inverse operations. Now this is the one that we're going to use the most because it's the one that you'll use throughout your career in math. It says, remember when we simplify or evaluate, we do a standard order of operations. But when solving, we are undoing, okay, so that's the big thing, that's why we work backwards. We're undoing the operations, so we perform the order of operations backwards, okay? It's the big thing, backwards. We're working backwards, okay? So we're going to solve two-step equations. It says the two operations here are what? What two operations do I have right here? Well, I have addition, right? And I have multiplication. So I'm going to put an addition symbol. And I have multiplication. So following the order of operations, what do we undo first? We're actually going to undo the addition first. Okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to use that inverse operation in order to do that. So we're going to undo addition first. So we're going to show our work. So here, this 5. Now remember, back to our rules, we're going to put an imaginary plus sign in front of that 5 because it doesn't have a sign. So we know it's positive 5. Meaning I'm not going to take into account anything else. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 5 from this side of the equal sign. And remember, that makes that 0. That's our 0 pair. Whatever I do to this side of the equation, I must do to this side. So I'm minus 5, subtract 5, gives me 28, right? So now, here's where I rewrite my equation. So now I've got 4x, and I wrote too big, I'm sorry. So now I have 4x equals 28. So just pretend that this 28 is right here, okay? So 4x equals 28. So now I'm back to a one-step equation, which I know how to do. This means 4 times x equals 28. What do I have to do to get the x by itself? You're right, I have to divide by 4 because 4 over 4 is 1. And so I want a coefficient of 1 before the x. Whatever I do to this side of the equation, I must do to this side. So 28 divided by 4 gives me 7. And remember, just like before, we have to go back and substitute 7 in to check and make sure that it is correct. And we have to keep the balance. We have to do the same thing to both sides every step of the way. Okay? So, one thing about this is how to show your work. You are going to perform one operation per row of work. And then you're going to rewrite the problem. Okay? Every time. Just like order of operations, like I made you guys do. Rewrite the problem, substituting in for your solved portion. Okay? You're also going to show the inverse or opposite operation on both sides of the equation. If you don't, I will count it wrong. It's just like that, step by step. Okay? That way you know where you're going next. And reminder, you always, always, always check solutions by substituting. Remember, our whole goal is to isolate the variable, but then we also have to check our solution. Okay, so let's try this one here. We're going to try this one together, and then you guys will do this one independently. So my first question is, what two operations do I have? Okay, I do. I have division. This is h divided by 5, and I have addition. Okay, so per the backwards order of operation, what am I going to solve first? Okay, addition or subtraction, right? So this is a positive 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I need to undo that portion. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So I'm now going to subtract 6, making those 0 pairs. Okay, so that's now 0. So whatever I do to this side of the equation, I have to do to this side. So I'm going to subtract 6 from 15. And that gives me 9. Okay. So now I'm going to rewrite this problem as it is, and now it's going to be a one-step equation, which I know how to do. So now I have h divided by 5 equals 9. Well, when I have h divided by 5, what do? Okay, I use a reciprocal, right, to get rid of 5. And so I'm going to do 5 over 1 times, because that's division, I'm multiplying, so it becomes 5h times over 5. And so this actually cancels out and makes it a coefficient of 1. Whatever I do to this side of the equation, I must do to the other, so I'm going to do 9 times 5. Both of them could be over 1. I don't have to. I should know that by now. And so h equals 45. Remember, I have to check, though. I'm going to circle it. So now I have 45 divided by 5 plus 6 equals, and I hope it equals 15. And remember, if it doesn't equal, I'll put that equal symbol that has the line through it. Remember, that does not equal, and then I'll try again. So 45 divided by 5 is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15, so our answer is correct. Okay, so now I want to see your work for this one. Remember, if the equal sign being on the left-hand side messes you up, move it over here to the right-hand side. The other thing that you have to look at here, too, is on this one, because you're dividing everything there by 4, you're going to have to take care of that first before you can take care of the other. Okay? So, that's my hint to you. You're going to have to take care of the division first in this one because you're dividing everything by 4. Otherwise, it looks like m divided by 4 minus 7 over 4. Okay? So just take care of that dividing by 4 first, meaning multiply both sides by 4, get rid of it, and then go on with unpacking addition and subtraction. Okay? So here we go. I'm going to fold this one in half as well. So here's how we're going to do this. I want you guys to take the second one that we did, the second method, and I want you to, while it's folded in half, I want you to do some glue, dot, dot, not a lot. Remember, if you don't have glue at home, you can wait till you get to class and paste it in. Okay, dot, dot, not a lot. We're going to take and we're going to paste it in on the right hand side, right underneath our objective. Okay, and then we'll flip over to the left hand side page right there. Now, note, and I'll zoom out for you a little bit. Okay, so note, I'm still working on the same pages. Okay, I'm just moving to this side of the page, and I'm going to paste this one in approximately at the same level as that one. That way I can utilize it as needed. Okay. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to paste it in. Okay. So remember, when they're pasted in, they should be right side up, and should be able to utilize both of them even at the same time. Okay. So we're going to save the remainder of the page down here, and even probably up here, and we will do some practice problems in class, and we'll record them in our notes. So I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon, and I will hopefully see you guys tomorrow.